And we're on.
What's up?
What's up? Facebook, YouTube,
Instagram.
TikTok.
No, we not on TikTok.
Okay. So we're not on TikTok. Hey, pretty soon we're gonna have TikTok.
I don't know. Not you. Not you, huh?
Right. Y'all gonna have to help me with that one. So, but anyhow, yeah. So as we mentioned in the last video, so this video here, we're gonna be talking about pornography and the pitfalls of pornography. So this is going to be more than just one video because I mean there's a lot to touch upon. So we're just going to touch upon the pitfalls of pornography, because most people really don't know. Because I didn't know, the dangers and the pitfalls of viewing this sinful acts, these sinful acts, So that being said, so with the first pitfall of pornography, I said that it desensitizes. It desensitizes in the fact in a way, yes, that it starts off pretty innocent, in most people's lives,
Thinking.
What?
They think it's innocent, right?
Right. Well, what I mean is in the sense of, most children are exposed to it one way or another, innocently, most of the time.
Curiosity.
It's curiosity. They may say like they on the computer and a pop-up may happen.
Yeah, but in your time, you didn't. It wasn't none of that.
Right.
So
now, okay, say in my time, okay,
a magazine.
I'm in my parents' room or whatever, and I bump into a magazine, so innocently, and this is how it gets started,
seed.
right? A seed that's planted,
Right.
and what happens is, okay, you may see a commercial or whatever, a magazine, and you don't think really anything of it.
Cable,
right?
What was that? Cinemax After Dark and all that stuff like that.
Well, even before that, we had I'm a go
Playboy
back to my
channel.
childhood. No, we had Jet Magazine with the little lady in the middle. I remember the little bathing suit. Yes, indeed. I don't know how many pinups on my wall. As a youngster, 12, 13.
Now, for some people, let's stop right there, because for some people they're saying a bathing suit, just like with magazines, right? With catalogs, lingerie. They're saying, what's wrong with that?
Right. But like I said, it desensitizes. So now, you're exposing yourself to these images, you know what I'm saying? And later on, now it's like, okay, that doesn't do it. Now I need something a little stronger, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I need more flesh. Yes, and so now you move from a bathing suit.
Yeah, she fine. Next you curious, like, okay, what the breast look like, what the vagina look like.
Right.
So now.
So it goes from that to going online, you know what I'm saying? And that's a whole nother world, because now we're desensitized to the simple things, so that doesn't do it for us anymore. Now we need to dig deeper into, something else that tickles our fancy or whatever.
Arouses.
Yeah, there you go. Arouses.
Yeah, and it's really, lingerie and all that. It's really soft porn.
Right.
It's soft porn.
Right.
But and that's the thing with ignorance. We're like, how is it? It's soft porn. But trust me, because the magazine I just got, in a clothing catalog. I get sent to me. My husband don't even look them anymore. Because you got the women with little choker lace around her neck that's coming down, and she might got some of that cut out, and it's soft porn.
Yes, it is.
It's soft porn. Butt out, it's soft porn.
And that's what I'm saying. See, you may think it's innocent, but it's really, really not.
It's sowing seed, It's really sowing seed in you. And when you're not connected to the Spirit of God, you don't know.
Right.
You don't know. When you are connected to the Spirit of God, you're aware that the enemy plants seed through your eye gates, through your ear gates.
Right.
He plants seed.
And especially for the married man, because what happens is, okay, we see those images, soft porn. So next thing you know, we're comparing that to our wife. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Now let's go there with that, because you're comparing that to your wife body. She probably done had 3-4 of your children, 5, 6, however many.
right.
And she may have stretch marks or whatever. Her body she may gain weight. Her body may change. And you're comparing that to a woman on the magazine. Even these so-called Instagram models and all. You're comparing your wife to that. And
airbrush.
Right. Those magazines are airbrushed.
They
Let me
got
let you
it
know.
lifted,
Right.
dropped,
Tucked, puffed, right?
Yeah.
Come on, and even with this girl the chick on Instagram, you don't know if that's her breasts. You don't know if that's her lips. You don't know if that's her hair. You don't even know how her face look. Come on, how these girls beating the face, right? I mean, you don't even know they look like a whole different person.
Right.
So you comparing your wife to that. You don't even, that could be a man too.
Right. Yes.
And you say you like women. That could be a man.
Right.
Cause the work that's being done now is like, you don't even know. You can't even tell.
Yes.
And you dropping your wife for this, and now you finding out later it's a man. And you mad with the brother. But you open the door, right, when you fixed your gaze on something else you wasn't supposed to fix your gaze on.
Right. And so another pitfall of viewing pornography is causes people to see people as objects and not people. Because you're looking at a computer screen, basically. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like no interaction, no feeling. So now when you see a woman on the street, or a man, because women view pornography as well.
Right,
so let me
yes, I'm glad
put
you brought
that in
up.
there. Yes. So we're viewing people as objects,
right,
and that's how we're seeing them as we gaze upon people. Trying to see,
right,
trying to figure out, what does she have on under there? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
I wonder how sex is, because all of these acts they performing in these videos of pornography, and I saw that. I've seen the pornography video before. I'm like, I've seen it.
Right.
But it's like the stuff that they try to create a fantasy, and I'm gonna tell you this: there is no woman that exists in the world that likes sex like that. It's not true. It's not. It's not. And unless something happened to her, right? And it caused her to have a problem with wanting sex, a nympho, right? It caused her, but a woman is not wired that way.
Right.
They're not. They're not.
Right.
So the enemy is lying to you, brother, and telling you that this woman is just a sex monster, a sex pot, or whatever you want to name it. And a woman is really, they're not wired that way.
Right.
They're really not.
And that's why we wonder, I mean, it's sick, we talking about people and kids, you know what I'm saying? Because the kids are not kids to them, they're objects.
Right.
You know, and so this is how we see people as objects.
Right.
That's how we can just do whatever we want to people sexually,
Right.
And I'm like, that's definitely.
Yes, and it hurts. It hurts a woman because it's been done to me. I've been made out of an object, right? I was telling my husband about a conversation one of my older sisters and I had. I was telling her about something that happened to me leaving her house one day. Years ago. I was maybe my daughter age, 16, 15, one of those ages. And this guy, I'm leaving my sister's house, and we stopped at the store, and she was going to go home, and I'm heading to the bus stop. And this dude, he spoke to my sister coming out of the store, So this dude was like, look, I could bring you home. You don't have to take the bus. And I was like, nah, I could take the bus. He was like, girl, come on, I know your sister. So I get in the car with this guy, trusting him, right? So this dude pulls up at a hotel. At a hotel. And I'm just in shock. I'm in shock, you know. And I didn't even have God at the time. I wasn't saved because, you know, I got saved when I was 21, you know.
Right.
And I mean, it was God. I'm gonna acknowledge that because I came up with a lie, right, to get me out of that. For real. And I'm not saying God tell us to lie. That's kind of like your girl in the Bible, Rahab, right? But I said, no, I gotta go home. My mama looking for me. Right? So the dude, I had him drop me off somewhere, not nowhere near my home. And I said, no, my mom's gonna freak out if she see you drop me off. So he dropped me off. It was like, in fact, it was by a church. This dude dropped me off by a church. And I let him pull off, and I was making sure he was gone, and I took off and went home. But I'm saying all that to say how I was just an object to him.
Right.
Not an innocent young teenager, just an object. And that hurt.
Right.
Because I'm like, what gave you the impression I wasn't dressed skanky? And, you know, I'm like, what gave you the impression that I wanted to come with you to a hotel?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But anyway, y'all. Lord.
So, the third pitfall, it destroys intimacy. You know, we talking about, especially for married couples, this definitely applies here, you know, because when we talking about intimacy, but we have these images in our head from these videos or whatever we've been viewing and thinking we're gonna bring that into our bedroom, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We talking about trying to perform these acts that we've seen, you know,
Right.
that the enemy didn't put in our heads and show and sold and right,
craziness, you know.
And so it's like that's not intimacy with your wife, you know what I'm saying?
Not.
When we talking about intimacy, we talking about connecting. We're not just talking about the physical act of sex, you know.
Right.
And so these are the things we trying to act out because that's what we saw.
And third parties in your bedroom. Let me tell you something, women. If your husband asks you to invite a third party into the bedroom, you better get counseling. That's the problem. And if you do that, you are opening the door. Trust me, you are opening the door here because let me tell you what's going to happen. You're going to invite that girl in, whoever it is, and y'all going to have a so-called good old time. And see, when that's over with, your husband is going to be hooking up with your girl. Trust me. Trust me. That's what's going to happen. Because you opened up a door for that. You told him it was okay to sleep around when you let him bring in another woman with y'all.
Oh, another man. You gotta be specific these days, cause with pornography.
But I'm telling you, it's been so many women that has done this. They've done this, and now they're sorry for it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, why? What? You got to love you. I'm sorry. Baby. My husband, I'm too jealous for that foolish. I'm too jealous for that. Right. If you looking at my husband like you talking about a third party in it?
Right.
And then I love me.
Right.
I love me.
Love
I love me. Are you serious, brother? You trying to be out in the doghouse? How you asking me a third party? So I mean, because that's a red flag. It's like, so you wanna cheat on me because you asking me if you not satisfied with me.
Satisfied.
I'm not enough. We got problems. We got problems. No.
Well, hey, that's what the man been, consumed with.
But I'm talking to the ladies right now. You talking to the men. I'm talking to the sisters. Yes. Okay. Yes, you got to love you enough. Because if that's acceptable to you, you don't love you enough. You do not love yourself enough. If you're letting your husband bring another woman in the bed with you.
Right.
Trust me. Now, you could sit there and lie to yourself and let the enemy deceive you, sister. but you don't love yourself because it's supposed to be you and your husband. That's it.
Right, that's it.
The only third party that's supposed to be there is God. That's it, right?
That's it. Yeah. And so I wanted to get to this last and final one because I mean we pretty close to wrapping it up. So another pitfall makes us aware that viewing pornography drives up the demand, which in turn supports human trafficking and sex slavery.
Right.
You know. Now this is something I didn't know because I shared, before I started out, viewing pornography as a young teen, well, preteen, and that it gripped me for the longest, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Was with this woman, that woman, promiscuous.
Right, and trying to act out these scenes and all this stuff, But yes, it drives up. This is something I really did not know, and maybe you guys aren't aware of it either. But when when the demand is there, when the demand is high, that means they need to supply more and more. And what we don't realize is most of these actors or actresses, you want to call them, that's in these videos, a lot of them are being taken and that's the word I'm looking for, forced into these acts. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of these people are innocent kids that were taken and kept,
drugged,
and
beaten,
yes,
and they're telling them that they're gonna kill their families if they don't participate with them, but you're sitting there, you're watching pornography, and you're thinking that this woman, this young girl, is enjoying what she's doing. A lot of times it's because she was forced to do that, and you better look like you enjoy it. That's what they tell these girls. You better look like you enjoy this.
Well, if not, guess what? They're gonna get beat.
Hungry, starved.
Yes. And so this is what we don't realize. We're actually playing a part into the demand.
Into think about your daughter, think about your nieces, think about your mother, yes, your sisters, your cousins. They're being taken. Think about them being taken. And the man doing that to them. Think about your little virgin cousin who ain't never been touched before, and those men taking her or your daughter and beating her and starving her and drugging her and telling her, you better sleep with these men, 50, 60, 70 men a night. Let us video you, take your picture, or we gonna kill you. And you better look like you enjoying what you're doing.
This is real, man.
It's real.
This is real.
It's real. It is real. And we've educated our daughters on all of this stuff. Because it's happening every day. It's happening in our own cities, in our own states. Here, the prostitute that you may see, the girl you may see walking the street, who you turning your nose up at, she may have been taken. She may have been taken.
Yeah. And so, just to bring awareness to this, but I also want to mention, now this is the kicker here. Now, Christian men, there are 64% of Christian men who admit to viewing pornography monthly. Just think about that. 64% of Christian men admit to viewing this once a month, at least once a month. Now we're talking about people of God. I thought the words say, whom the Son sets free
is free indeed.
Is free indeed.
Now we gonna go here with it because we don't want to come off as beating people up, imperfect, because we're not perfect. Because at one time when my husband and I first got married, he was viewing pornography.
Yeah. We go back.
I was going to school in the morning. He was working overnight. Got up eye at a time. And I had no idea, but I knew something was going on, right? God was just dealing with me. We just felt like there was a wall between. I just felt like there was a wall between us, and I would ask. I asked my husband. He was like, we know. And then finally, he came out. I didn't ask him about pornography, but I told him that I just felt like something wasn't right between us. And he came out in himself. God hadn't dealt with him. He came out and told me himself.
Nah, I didn't use the words destroy intimacy, but that's basically what it was doing. Because I tried to bring that old thing
Right.
into this marriage. You know what I'm saying? That familiar thing.
Right.
And that's what, that's what I tried to do.
And so what are you doing to, not go there anymore, to keep yourself from going there?
Well, definitely, God is just keeping me because I definitely understand that's Him that's keeping me from falling and presenting me faultless, first of all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But at the time, here's the thing, at the time, like I told you, I was angry at God. So it was like, I really didn't care, what it was doing to God, I wasn't worried about... Right, because I really didn't think about you, selfishly, because it was like I was rebelling against God, So just think about that. I love God, I'm serving God, but I'm also rebelling against God, How does that look,
Right.
How do you serve
and that's
God?
Why our marriage was a mess,
Right.
It was a mess, y'all. It was, because he wasn't where he was supposed to be with God. You know?
And then, like I said, another main thing, I didn't realize that it was gonna hurt my wife the way that it did.
It hurt.
I did not.
It hurt.
I didn't see that coming. Because I'm like, I'm not hurting anybody. You know what I'm saying? It's just me. Pleasuring myself, basically. Not realizing that. Okay, you seeing people's bodies now.
Other women, I'm not enough because it made me feel like that.
Right.
Like I wasn't enough. You tell me you so attracted to me and I'm so sexy and so beautiful, but you enjoy our intimacy, but here you watching pornography. I'm like, how does that even make sense?
Exactly.
And so it took a long time, to trust my husband again. And I'm like, sometimes the enemy would try to bring me back there. And we just had this conversation a few months ago, and I'm like, God is we still working through some stuff, but Lord, but I say this, I thank God my husband hasn't been with anybody else.
Right.
Physically. I thank God for that,
Right.
And so I'm not going to get off into that because this video will be too long, so.
Yeah, but I mean, it's about rebuilding trust, you know what I'm saying? That's why I give my wife free access to emails, my phone, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because I definitely...
Answer his phone, same thing for me. But y'all look, I love me enough, you know what I'm saying? And I know, and I believe, and I trust in God. So I'm not looking through my husband's phone, and I'm not. I'm really at peace. I'm really at peace because it's like this. I told my husband, I said, if you crazy enough to go out there and do that,
shame on you, bro.
Go ahead, brother. Because I know how I am to my husband. I know I'm good to my husband. I know that I'm a good wife. I ain't saying I'm perfect, but I know I'm a good wife. And so if you're that crazy enough to go out there,
right,
your loss.
Right. But me and God, we worked it out now, so I'm not rebelling anymore.
Right. Right. He got his mind right, y'all.
Yes. I got my mind right. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying we're lining up, right? Because you were rebelling.
Right.
I'm saying it takes us to open up to God and give him full control.
Behold, I stand at the door and knock.
Right. Draw near to God and he'll draw near to you.
That's
so
it.
If you draw near, he gonna draw near. But he ain't forcing you.
Right. And you said, what am I doing? That's another thing, That's definitely staying close to God, you know what I'm saying? Drawing to him.
Right.
Yes.
And guarding your eyes.
Yes.
Yes.
Job 31:1.
Made a covenant with my eyes not to
Yes.
look upon a woman. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Not to look upon another woman in lust. Yes.
Yeah, so that being said, I'm like, this is part one of dealing with pornography, you know, because it's deeper than this, you know.
Yes.
And I'm just like, you know, it's real prevalent in the church, you know, unfortunately, you know. And so we're gonna be talking on, you know, ways to
Defeat that thing.
defeat it, you know, shine light upon it, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
with that being said, we're gonna 25. So we're gonna cut it on off. And
Share,
so
y'all.
right,
Share,
definitely
you know,
share.
because we share all this crazy stuff. That's what I don't understand. I'm trying to really wrap my mind around it. You know, we share all of this stuff that just nonsense, y'all. But when, you know, we're not doing this for no likes and all of that. We're doing this because the Lord laid it on our hearts. We feel like He laid it on our hearts to do this, you know, to help people, to encourage people, to share, to be transparent, to put our business out there. You think we just won't put our business out there on Facebook,
Right.
and Instagram, and all that stuff, you know? This is to help people, y'all, because I just feel like we don't have enough of that in the church, enough transparency.
Right, because I didn't have the
And
help.
people bound.
I didn't have the help.
People bound. You know, God wants you free. You know, and that's why you have people speaking the truth and sharing their story.
Right.
Right. So you can know He'll forgive you. He'll pick you up. Right. Dust you off. And set you on the right path.
Yes.
And ways to handle and defeat Goliath. Right.
That's it. And so, that being said, we love y'all. And see y'all next video.
Peace.
Peace.